When did you realize?
This is it, opening day, and let's go. All right, G, not a problem. I ordered more than enough for all of us. Here we are, Clark, opening night. It's officially upon us. I know you think it's important to get off to a good start, don't you?
I really do, Kevin. It's better than getting off to a poor start. Because the season is so long, you've got time to overcome either one, but it's always best to get off to a nice start. It gives you confidence and gives you momentum that you can build on.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. And so in the game for the Pacers, Collison and Oladipo pair at the 1 and the 2. Young and Turner up front. And it's Bogdanovich in at the 3 spot. So the Indiana Pacers able to put the first points up on the board. Hardaway kicks to Towns. With the teardrop. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's going to be on Miles Turner.
Nice recognition by Towns there. I mean, catches the defender out of position and then sails the foul call.
That one misses.
You know, you watch Karl Anthony Towns, and he just epitomizes the future of the NBA big man. Extremely versatile, gets it done inside and outside at both ends of the floor, and has a fluidity to his game that belies his size.
Now here's Collison. Turner gets stolen by Bogut. First quarter of play, 1 minute played. Hardaway with a wide open look. It's rebounded by Indiana. And with Towns and him being the future of the NBA big men, the numbers he's put up at a young age are staggering. Clark just looks like a guard out there sometimes.
Well, there's a good reason for that, Kevin. You know, Towns actually played guard before a big growth spurt. I think that clearly helped with his skills, and that's why he's so comfortable creating. It's a perfect situation for a guy like him to revolutionize what a low block player can do.
And he gets the bucket. Hardaway has got his first points of the night.
Just the height separation on that mid-range jumper. Excellent job of taking advantage.
The kick out to Young. Back to Collison. The dish to Turner. And it's slammed in by Turner.
Spotting the open man, Collison, a capable playmaker.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
And about 2 minutes played here in the first quarter. Pass to Turner. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
an almost perfect start to this game. 4 for 5. They're rolling. And, you know, Miles Turner, a 5-star recruit coming out of Trinity High School near Dallas, was Big 12 Freshman of the Year at the University of Texas. And he keeps working, and he's getting better and better and has all-star potential.
Now here's Towns. Hardaway passes to Miles. Here's Butler. The rebound by Young. For Indiana, they've gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Oladipo, good. And Clark, you've been around the Pacers. What are your impressions of Miles Turner?
Great maturity for his age. Humble, hard-working, hungry, smart. And I think he wants to be great. That's all good stuff.
And, guys, this is what you like to see early on, gaining a little confidence from range.
Yeah, and you know it, Greg. Oftentimes, you get that first one to drop, and your confidence rises like yeast. It's good to get into a rhythm at the start of the game, no doubt.
Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Detroit Pistons. Towns wide open. And another 3 for Minnesota.
And, you know, defensively, guys, you have to close out hard on Big Cat. I mean, this kid can let it fly, and he does so with confidence.
Now here's Collison. From the arc. Collison with another miss.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
And Towns gets it to go.
And, you know, as good as Towns is from outside, I mean, that play is why he shoots for a high percentage.
Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. Collison for 3. And the Pacers can't get it to go.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Feeds to Towns. Back to Hardaway. Lets it fly from 18. And no good that time. So the Pacers will take it the other way. Here's Oladipo. And he's fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming up.
They are just killing him on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
And Oladipo has some parts of his game that needs work, but he is certainly terrific on the big finish.
Yeah, I mean, he's got longer arms than you would think for a player of his size, and the overall physical skill set, there's no doubt about it. You know, you look at his ability to just stay floating in the air for that extra moment when he's in attack mode, and this is a young man that still has his best basketball ahead of him.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. You know, these are the guys you need to be aware of if you don't want your pocket picked. Here are last season's steals leaders. 5th, Jimmy Butler.
He showed such tremendous defensive instincts. Trust me, nobody wanted him guarding them last year.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. Now here's Joseph. Towns with the steal. And now Minnesota on the fast break. And the dunk by Towns.
Just churning that butter up, man, all night. Towns making a fool out of anybody trying to get in his way. Go to work, big fella.
And that replay presented by Under Armour showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another unleash chaos moment.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
And it's just been an avalanche of points here in the early going.
Yeah, you know, both teams scoring at a really steady clip. If you like good offense, you've come to the right spot. This is your game.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Joseph dishes to Stevenson.
I think he's going to have to be more cautious on defense. He can't afford to pick up a 3rd foul here in the first quarter.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout. Clark, as an analyst, do you feel you view the game drastically different from when you were in your playing days in college and the NBA?
Yeah, you know what, Kevin, I really do, because I've benefited from the different coaches we've had a chance to visit with over the years, and that's added to my perspective. And you tend to look at things differently when you're playing. I was always a student of the game, but clearly I think I've become a lot more analytical as an analyst, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. Livingston with it. Pass to Crawford. Back to Livingston. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
Now here's Joseph. Jefferson on top. Jefferson drawn the double team. They swipe it. And now the Timberwolves on the break. Green leading the charge. Here's Anunoby. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunities. They're really keeping it up tempo so far.
Now here's Joseph. Tight defense on him. And Stevenson kicks to Joseph. 5 to shoot. Indiana needs to get a shot off. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation.
And taking a look here at the numbers for Joseph, some last season stats for him. Averaged about 9 points per game, 3 assists and 3 rebounds. And you look at those numbers, not bad, but guys, I think he can do better, and he knows it.
And he has high expectations for himself as well, guys, but he just hasn't delivered fully on his potential yet.
Kicks it to Jefferson. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Jefferson's got his first points of the game. The Timberwolves have shot 80% from the line tonight, going 4 of 5 so far. The first one falls.
And the Pacers have made the playoffs back-to-back seasons and have only missed the playoffs once in the last 7 seasons, including a couple of trips to the Eastern Conference Finals. Nevertheless, there's a growing concern in Indy that the team has stagnated a bit and needs to move forward at a greater pace than what they had.
Now here's Crawford. He feeds it to Livingston. Over in the corner, Green. Timberwolves passing it around. Anunoby passes to Patton. Here's Crawford. And it's good with time running down on the shot clock. And the Timberwolves lead by 8.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
Here's Jefferson. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He put together quite a quarter, 13 points in all. And he looks to be planning for more. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. All right, the second quarter. Pacers trail by 8. And so in the game for the Pacers. Young and Turner up front. Collison and Oladipo pair at the 1 and the 2. And it's Bogdanovich in at the 3. Now here's Turner. That 3 off the mark.
Yeah, not a great shot there, especially when you got a lockdown defender guarding you.
Agreed. I mean, when the defense is right there, you got to move the ball, make the extra pass. That's a case of a poor shot selection.
Now Crawford. Following the 3-point attempt by Miles Turner. Clock at 6. Here's Livingston. Another shot. The pass to Anunoby. Knocked loose. It's taken away by Collison. Lets the 3 fly. Good on the triple. Collison's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for Indiana.
Nice look there from Bogdanovich, the shooter keeping an eye peeled and open for the open man.
Livingston dishes to Crawford. Green with a screen for Crawford. Off the pick. And there's Green on the assist by Crawford.
And a smooth jump shot from the veteran Green there. These are looks he nails consistently.
We're about a minute and a half into the second quarter now. The drive by Collison. And Turner kicks to Young. Back to Turner. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And, you know, with Nate McMillan taking over the Pacers last season, their offense was much improved. He had a good stint as a head coach in both Seattle and Portland, but there was some slippage defensively with the Pacers, and now it's about striking the right balance between offensive prowess and defensive improvement.
Anunoby, good. Pacers trail by 7. Collison, the pass to Young. The kick out to Oladipo. Another shot. That one, no good. Nice D from Crawford. And the Pacers, Clark looking to up the pace. In some ways, that made McMillan a surprising choice. His teams in Portland, for instance, some of the slowest in the league.
Well, their pace actually went down some, Kevin. McMillan is accustomed to going small with shooting big men, and that certainly fits.
Collison dishes to Young. Here's Anunoby. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. It's Bogdanovich on the wing. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him.
Excellent concentration from the deep. Intimidated the shooter, bothered him, distracted him, and made him think twice as he went in for that layup.
Now here's Crawford. They lead by their biggest margin of the game, 9. Livingston, that's good.
Well, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
Outside Collison. To the middle. Here's Turner. And he can't stop the run as he misses.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
And Young kicks to Collison. He dishes it to Turner. Passes it to Bogdanovich. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Turner. And where the shot's been coming from tonight, here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and three-point shot attempts so far for the Pacers.
And this is the #1 ranked team in the conference, and for good reason. You can see the way they utilize a variety of areas of the floor for their scoring, and it's a well-designed recipe that they rely on. For all the other defenses out there, make note of this shot chart.
Now here's Collison. 5 points in the game. It's deflected, and they're able to recover. 6 to shoot, and Bogdanovich kicks to Turner, and he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time, the whistle blowing, and Minnesota gets called for the foul.
Man, excellent patience from Turner close to the basket there. I mean, forced the defense to get a little handsy with him in the paint.
Well, a lot of optimism around young big man Miles Turner. Nate McMillan compared him to LaMarcus Aldridge, who, of course, McMillan coached in Portland. Clark, can you see that?
Oh, no doubt. Both are 6'11"-ish, and both can really shoot the ball. Turner may be a better three-point shooter right now than Aldridge, but I think he's got to grow into being more effective in the post. He's more of a rim protector right now than Aldridge. But like L.A., I think he has a chance to be an all-star.
Yeah, outstanding job there of taking the harm and still able to finish.
Yeah, he imposed his will on the defense that time. He was not going to be denied right there.
Al Jefferson, he's checked in for Miles Turner. Timberwolves leading by 6. It's Jones on the wing. He's covered by Joseph. Outside Robinson to the middle. Here's Patton on its way from McDermott for 2, and once again off the mark by Minnesota.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
And that one, good. Joseph's got 5 points so far.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
High arcing shot. It's deflected. And here comes Leaf leading the fast break. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
Perfect execution. That's how you take advantage of a transition opportunity.
Now here's Crawford. Pass to Patton. No good, unable to end this run. And they have certainly been looking locked in offensively.
They sure have, staying aggressive and playing under control.
Yeah, that's the kind of aggressive attitude Stevenson brings to the table. He's not going to sit back and settle for jump shots. If he can attack the basket, he will.
Here's Crawford. Following the basket by Lance Stevenson. Jones kicks to Crawford. Oh, and here comes Joseph all alone. And the dunk by Joseph.
And that's up-tempo basketball at its best. So much easier to operate in the open court when a steal triggers the break.
Now here's Crawford. There's a screen by Robinson. Shoots off the screen, and they will call over the back on the play.
And that's just all about positioning. He gets boxed out, can't fight around it, and gets the over-the-back call.
I thought maybe with a little more hustle, he might have been able to get around him, but he was just a step late.
Joseph, the pass to Jefferson. Hardaway with the steal. There's a minute 34 left to play in the first half. Towns, a screen on Joseph. And Towns, the bucket on the assist from Penny Hardaway. Towns has got it all tied up now for Minnesota. And Joseph kicks to Stevenson. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. Stevenson's got his second bucket of the night.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
10 straight points off assist. That's very impressive, and it also makes the game easy and fun to watch.
Now here's Towns. The shot by Butler. Nobody around. No good with the triple. Stevenson against Butler. Joseph has an open look. No good on the three.
He hit 1 3 in the first, but the well has been totally dry for him in the second.
Bogut sets a screen for Hardaway. Butler in the corner from deep. Miles. Pacers with the rebound.
And offensively, they've gotten stuck on the perimeter, falling in love with the jumper.
And maybe shying away from contact a bit too, Greg. I mean, their free throw attempts are also down from the first quarter.
Jefferson dishes to Joseph. It's tipped. And they're moving it up. On the wing, Hardaway. The feed to Miles. Good, and the assist goes to Hardaway. Miles has got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half. Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just...
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite. The first half was all about Karl Anthony Towns. He ended up with 15 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. He has bounced back nicely from what was a tough night for him in their last game. Judging by that.
The buildings of downtown Minneapolis all lit up on this lovely evening. Welcome back, everyone. In the post, Clark, you were as polished as they come. I watched it with my own eyes and loved the way you play. Just how important, when you go back to that time, is footwork for a big man in the NBA?
Well, I think it's everything, regardless of what size you are, big or small. Fundamentally sound footwork is essential to being a solid offensive basketball player. And as a guy who played inside and out, it was something I took pride in. And I wasn't the greatest athlete, a decent athlete, so my footwork allowed me to gain an advantage against bigger guys.
They've got Jimmy Butler. He'll get out there with Karl Anthony Towns. Then there's Hardaway, and it's Miles in at the small forward. So that's who Tom Thibodeau starts the second half with. The Timberwolves have shot 6 or 7 at the line. Oladipo, the pass to Turner. It's stolen by Bogut. Towns kicks to Hardaway. And the layup falls. Hardaway has got 6 points.
Yes, he did. Having a big who can locate the open man the way Towns does puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
A nice shot by Collison.
Always got to patrol the three-point line. When you don't, you suffer the consequences.
And if you're just joining us, we played over a minute here in the third. Hardaway dishes to Towns. And the dunk by Towns.
Tremendous combination of power and finesse there. I mean, once Towns gets to the rim, it's a wrap.
Indiana trailing here. Right side, Collison. Shoots the three. Rebounded by Bogut. For Minnesota, they've gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime. Here's Hardaway. Dishes it to Towns. Outside for Miles. Timberwolves passing it around. Butler passes to Hardaway. To the paint. Here's Bogut. And finished off by Bogut.
Just a forceful finish there. Bogut has that natural power.
Outside Collison. To the paint. Up off the screen. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. The Pacers shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here.
And last season, when they got themselves to the line, they usually came through as a team up around 81%. And among NBA bigs, he is known for his ability to deliver at the free throw line.
Here's Hardaway. Second chance shot. He lays it in. He's got 8.
He's been much more effective in the second half than he was in the first.
Hardaway against Collison. And it's Bogdanovich in the corner. Bangs home the trifecta.
And the quick release of Bogdanovich, he gets rid of that ball in a hurry.
Bogut sets a screen for Hardaway. The kick outside to Butler. Towns dishes to Hardaway. It's good. Hardaway has got 8 points in the quarter.
He is in the zone. There's a reason he keeps getting the ball. They're feeding him because they trust him to lead their team.
The drive by Collison. Young with no one around. No good. That would have tied it.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
And the Pacers with a lot of scoring on their roster. Clark, how does Thaddeus Young blend into that?
Well, I think he's a scorer. He's a guy who does a lot of the intangibles. What I like about him is he's an excellent cutter. Plays well off the ball, so he doesn't always need it in his hands to be effective.
The dish to Turner. 6 on the shot clock. Right side, Collison. That falls. Nice feed that time from Turner. And it's 13 points for Darren Collison.
Yeah, that's too good a look to give him from behind the arc.
Hardaway kicks to Towns. He's off on that one. Good work defensively by Turner. The Pacers have gone 4 of 6 from the field since the start.
Yeah! Tell you what, a little flash that time from Young as he finishes the play with a little extra flavor.
That unleashed chaos Under Armour replay really giving us a good look at the action. Collison, the pass to Oladipo. Collison against Hardaway. Back to Oladipo. Down low. Here's Turner. And it's sent back by Bogut.
And with that condor-like wingspan, Bogut says,
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. And the Timberwolves call time here. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game, and that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Timberwolves.
Boy, their passing has been picturesque, a thing of beauty in both halves. More than a few of their baskets have come off assists.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
Joseph dishes to Jefferson. Pass to Leaf. To the inside. It's stolen by Bogut. And here is Hardaway. 10 points for him. Minnesota calls timeout. One of the hardest things, Clark, to defend in the league is the pick and roll. What do defenders need to key on when they're defending a pick and roll?
Well, I think a couple of things. One is you want to try to dictate where the pick and roll is going to happen and where you want the ball handler to go. And then there's got to be great communication. The two guys involved in the screen and roll have to be on the same page. There's got to be a lot of talk. And then the three guys maybe not involved have to be ready to help their teammates. So communication, a real sense of trying to dictate to that ball handler where you want him to go and what you want to give up, because you can't take away everything when you're defending a good pick and roll combination.
And here we have an opportunity to check out Karl Anthony Towns. He's coming off an excellent season. 6th in rebounding, 12th in scoring, and a great touch around the rim. Top 15 in field goal percentage.
He was a top 10 rebounder last season for good reason. He's an incredibly intense guy to compete with. And for a full game, too. I mean, just nonstop. And Joseph kicks to Stevenson. Back to Joseph. Here's Leaf, defended by Towns.
And wait to finish and cut into that lead a little bit.
Yeah, but look at the basket guy still shaking.
Well, I tell you what, he loaded up as much power as he could behind that two-hander.
On the free throw, no good. Pass to Leaf. To the wing on the left. And here's Joseph for three. And Indiana, another three.
And letting a guy sneak by for a putback off a free throw, that is inexcusable.
Bogut sets a screen for Hardaway. He kicks it to Miles. Towns up top. 17 points in the game. Miles the pass to Towns. And out of bounds as the Pacers gain possession. Sean Livingston, he's checked in for Minnesota. Indiana's gone 4 of 6 from three-point land since the start of the second half. Pass to Leaf. Back to Joseph. For the lead. Rebound, Minnesota. Towns has got his 4th rebound in this one. It's Miles on the wing. Livingston dishes to Towns. And count it. And a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Come on, this is a big guy here, Towns. I mean, you got to foul him a lot harder than that to stop the shot. I mean, he's just too strong. Now he gets a chance to add one more at the line. Well, the problem last year for the Timberwolves was their defense. Allowed way too many points in the paint. Fortunately, they've improved their defense down the stretch here.
And not being as aggressive from the three-point line anymore. They had a lot more attempts in that first half.
Livingston kicks to Towns. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. Towns has got 22 points. Pacers trail by 5. Another issue with the Wolves and their defense was that they weren't a great rebounding team outside, of course, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and you know what? There weren't a lot of big issues with the Wolves defense, but the small issues added up and cumulatively were a problem. I think they've got to continue to build on becoming a solid defensive team.
The three from Joseph. That falls. Nice feed that time from Stevenson. Stevenson's got 3 assists in the game. The Minnesota Timberwolves come into this one following a loss to Golden State. Towns, a screen on Joseph. Feeds it to Towns. And there are the Timberwolves with another bucket.
Quick trigger off the catch and shoot. Towns giving the defense no time to react.
Joseph, the pass to Stevenson. Outside for Jefferson. Back to Stevenson. 5 to shoot. He feeds it to Joseph. Here's Jefferson. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He has really delivered at the offensive end. He's torched them for 24 points so far. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And now we take a listen into the recent huddle from Tom Thibodeau.
When all we're doing is thinking about our offense.
We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. And a look at the five for the Pacers to start the fourth quarter. Leaf is out there with Jefferson. Then it's Robinson. Then it's Lance Stevenson. And it's Joseph in at the point guard position. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's his first foul.
And that's just all about positioning. He gets boxed out, can't fight around it, and gets the over-the-back call.
I thought maybe with a little more hustle, he might have been able to get around him, but he was just a step late.
Plenty of daylight on that shot. 16 points for Collison.
This guy knows how to get it done. He knows what he's doing out there. A nice job from the three-point line this half.
There's Crawford with the three. That drops, and it comes off the assist from Livingston. And that's now 7 points for Crawford. Outside Collison. Inside, Young goes to the reverse layup and drops it in.
Man, he's got such a great touch and feel around the basket. He made that reverse look easy.
Livingston kicks to Green. And Patton gets it to go. And the Timberwolves lead by 4.
And just great offensive execution by both sides, leaving nothing on the table.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Greg, both of these teams completely aligned, in sync right now. I mean, they are torching the Nets late in this ball game.
Now here's Livingston. He's covered by Collison. Here's Green. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And one of the toughest parts about playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves is the travel schedule.
Yeah.
Clark, even interdivision games can involve lengthy flights, and the team travels more than any other in the NBA.
Yeah, and you know, everybody travels, and it is part of the league, but it is a small disadvantage for Minnesota to deal with. Not a big one, but nonetheless something unique to them as a team. Not much you can do about it, though. That's their lot, and they've got to make it work.
Oh boy, to be young again.
Makes you nostalgic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does make me look back a little bit, but I could never throw it down like that. But it sure does look good.
I mean, even from over here, you could see that one pretty clearly.
No question about it, Greg. I mean, a ton of contact and a good call by the officials.
One thing that Tom Thibodeau can be dependent on as a coach is giving his star players a lot of minutes. In fact, in Chicago, Clarkson criticized him for doing that. Others praised him for it. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a team leader, he expects you to be on the floor a lot and produce a lot.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of the job. Hey, when you get right down to it, if you're one of the best players, you've got to show up and do your job all the time. And you look at players who've played under Thibodeau. I mean, he's had the league leader in average minutes 3 times in his career as a coach. Said himself that he expects his guys to get used to what star players do, which includes a lot of minutes.
Shots good by Turner.
Well, in the way the game is played in this day and age, it really is beneficial to have a big man who can stroke it from deep, and Turner is definitely of that ilk.
Back to Livingston. Crawford outside. Kicks it to Green. Green, the screen. High post shot. Off the pick. And it's sent back by Turner.
Oh, these arms of Turner just go on forever. I mean, which is part of the reason he's able to rack up the block shots that he does.
Oh, tried to dunk it home, but drew the foul, and it'll go to the line.
And that's really just smart basketball. You send a poor foul shooter to the line.
Yeah, and he was on his way to sending that one down, so the play is definitely to foul right there, which he did.
That's good from Oladipo.
Oladipo's become a very efficient combo guard, somebody who can score the ball at a high clip as well as get the ball to open teammates when necessary.
Only down 2 now, but that miss might come back to haunt you. If they don't get a stop, it's back to a 2-possession game.
Hardaway, no good.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Collison kicks to Turner. Back to Collison. That misses. Had a chance to tie it there. Minnesota's gone 7 of 11 from deep tonight, using the three-pointer to their advantage. The pass to Bogut. Collison against Hardaway. And he drops in the layup off the glass. And the Timberwolves lead by 4.
It's really been a tale of two halves, guys. A slow start, but this quarter, he has really been the man.
They double him with Butler.
Come on. Pull. You two players.
So it's the Timberwolves now. Here's Turner. Chalk up 2 there. Turner's got 9 points here in the second half.
Exceptional skills for Turner down in the paint. This guy, I think, has the potential to be a dominant player inside for a lot of years.
Good on the triple.
And those are the types of shots down the stretch that win you ball games.
Pacers trail by 5. Oladipo dishes to Collison. Here's the 3. He doesn't hit that one. And it's the Timberwolves taking it the other way. They've led by as many as 11 points. They're off to San Antonio after this game, bringing their show to the AT&T Center. That'll be just one game played away from home for them.
And this is for a guy who didn't start in college. Towns, the #1 pick in the 2015 draft. He has not looked back since. You know, watching Towns play, you always hope to catch him on a night where he's in attack mode, being aggressive. He's, I think, most dangerous when he's aggressive on offense and attacking the basket. At times, he can settle for the perimeter shot a little much, but he's got so much to offer in his offensive game that I just like watching him play, period.
Back to Collison. Just 5 on the clock. It's rebounded by Towns. Timberwolves leading by 6. Inside. And Andrew Bogut, the bucket on the assist from Hardaway. And Clark, to the point about Towns settling for outside shots, last season it was something that he self-corrected. After the halfway point of the season, he took less threes and it drastically improved his output.
Well, quite honestly, Kevin, the bulk of his points should come from near the rim, but he does need to take some of those perimeter shots to keep the defense honest and a little off balance. And I think he's really unstoppable, though, when he gets going to the hoop.
The drive by Collison. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. Minnesota's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. It's Miles on the wing. Here's Towns. Through the net again. He's done that 10 times tonight, and he's only needed 11 shots to get there.
Aggressive move off the dribble there. Towns, once he gains momentum, hard to disrupt it.
And with that shot, the Minnesota lead is cut down to just 10 points with the bucket from Collison. Here's Hardaway. He dishes it to Bogut, and the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
And, you know, such a balanced athlete. Bogut able to absorb the hit, make it, and get the end one.
A player who measures his impact, Greg, on the game at the defensive end, the 7-footer Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, and it's interesting. He said he was a horrible defender at the University of Utah. Soaked up the game from the great defenders in the NBA. Learning defensive 3 seconds, when to go, when not to. He's a master now.
Back to Hardaway. Got it. Good job in the low post. Hardaway has got the lead up to 13 now for the Timberwolves.
Boy, I like how fast, how quickly he went up with the shot, realizing that his man had no chance.
Outside Turner. The kick out to Collison. That doesn't go either for Collison.
Yeah, but the defenders draped all over him. He just could not shake loose. And these are the types of games where one team clearly has the edge. Tonight, it will be a win by a large margin for the Timberwolves.
And it may be a comfortable win for him, but, you know, they had to weather a few storms along the way, and that's all part of the story.
Yeah, Kevin, this was by no means the runaway that it might appear to be. It was a scrappy performance, though, all the way through.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And you always like to jump on your opponent early in a season series. This is just the first of 3 between these two teams, but a good win to go up 1-0 on the year against the Pacers.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Karl Anthony Towns.
And you know what stood out to me, Kevin, was his confidence. I mean, he was taking a lot of good shots and knocking them all down.
Here's Hardaway. Towns kicks to Hardaway. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. Here's Indiana. Here's Bogdanovich. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. Now Hardaway over Collison. They get it back. So it's Minnesota winning this one easy. Some good competition, but the hometown advantage and their ability to stay focused, I think, made the difference.
Yeah, and the first step in becoming a good team is your ability to win at home. And they really seem to revel in that opportunity, and this is what they came out to do.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David. All right, David, thank you. And that'll do it for the first game of the end.